Exxon Mobile beating on both the top and the bottom lines. Joining us right now for an exclusive interview is Exxon Mobil's chairman and CEO, Darren Woods. Darren, welcome. It's great to see you this morning. We know oil prices have been down, but how has Exxon been operating under those lower oil prices?
Well, I think we had, as you saw in the quarter, a really strong quarter, which topped off a really strong year. As you said, oil prices are down, commodity prices down across the year. That took about $6 billion of earnings from our 2024 endpoint. We clawed back more than half of that through growing advantaged volumes and cutting additional cost. If you look at our total production in 2025, it's the highest it's been in over 40 years. We had record production in Guyana, record production in the Permian. We added an additional $3 billion of structural cost reductions on the year. That brings our total since 2019 to over $15 billion of structural cost reductions. That's more, Becky, than if you took all of our major competitors, added them together. Our single company number beats that.
Wow.
On top of that, we had a great year for projects. If you look at the portfolio of projects that we had to deliver in 2025, there were 10 very large, complex projects that we delivered on plan, many of them under budget and ahead of schedule. That provides $3 billion of earnings power going forward. So a critical component of the plans that we laid out in 2024 to grow earnings and cash flow. 2025, we updated those plans. Right now, we see our plans grow earnings by $25 billion through 2030. And grows cash flow by $35 billion to 2030 on a constant price and margin basis. So we feel really good about what we delivered and really good that we're on this track and on plan to continue to grow earnings and cash flow.
Yeah, Darren, we've been showing different links of the stock chart. And if you look over the last 5 years, it's been pretty phenomenal growth for Exxon shares, up by close to 210% over that time period. This has been an exercise in operational excellence, I would say, just in terms of trying to make sure you guys are putting your best foot forward, trying to find the right way to do things. It may get a little more complicated from here. You are facing pressure from the administration to do things, to drill in other places, to make sure that oil prices come down. The president likes seeing lower oil prices like we've seen over the last year. And you kind of ran into that front and center when you went to the White House to talk to the president about Venezuela. You came out of that meeting and said that Venezuela right now is uninvestable unless there are major political and legal reforms that take place in that country. Describe what your assessment of Venezuela is right now, and then we can talk a little bit more about where that puts you with the administration.
So back to the original point that you made, which was the transformation we've been making. And I would tell you the pillars on which this business, long-term value of this business is built is technology and the technical innovations that we continue to drive to convert hydrogen and carbon molecules into products that society needs to, continue to grow their life and raise prosperity around the world. Projects and the ability in a capital-intensive business to deliver projects at world-class pace and at world-class cost is absolutely critical. And we've formed an organization that is doing that. And we've just formed an organization that brings all of our operations together so that we continue to operate with excellence. And once you've developed the technology, you've implemented them through projects, you then got to run the kit reliably and very cost effectively. And our organizations are all now focused on doing that. So that is the foundation that we've laid that's led to this growth. The challenge is, as I talked with the president about at the White House with respect to Venezuela, is just the damage that the dictator that was recently removed and his predecessor did to the economy and to the industry. And the point that I was making at the White House is those are significant challenges that have to be addressed if we're going to achieve the priorities that the White House has. And those priorities, start with one, stabilizing the country. Second is to kickstart the economy and try to recover some of the damage that's been done over the decades of abuse that the dictators brought in. And then ultimately to transition into a representative government. I think those objectives are the right objectives, ones that I agree with, I think many people would agree with. The challenge is how best to do that. And from my perspective, with the history that we have, not only in Venezuela, but in operating around the world, is to help the administration and the policymakers understand the challenge. And from my perspective, you can't solve hard problems if you don't start by truly understanding what they are. And I think that's one of the things that as a company we've tried to do over the years is help administrations here in the U.S. and really around the world understand the challenges in our sector, the areas that we're very familiar with, so that the approach that they take, the policies they put in place, address those challenges appropriately and solve them. And I've got a lot of confidence that the administration can do that, working with the Venezuelan government and the people of Venezuela.
But as you've pointed out in the past, Venezuela owes you, what is it, $13 to $20 billion? I think you filed claims for $20 billion. You're seeking $12 to $13 billion in compensation. Pulled out of Venezuela twice as a company. What has to happen in order for you to look at that and say, okay, we'll dip our toe in again?
Yeah, so I would say, you know, that we were expropriated in the early days as Exxon, and when we merged with Mobil. Mobil came in, and we were expropriated again in 2007. The challenge there was they changed the rules of the game. And, you know, frankly, from our perspective, there's a principle that we stand on that if you don't uphold the sanctity of the contracts, if you choose to instead steal the investments that we made and undermine the work that we'd been doing, that we can't continue to work with you. And so that principle is what led us to exit Venezuela. I think it's absolutely critical to do that, to establish precedents around the world, because it's a very slippery slope once you begin to cooperate and work with people who are stealing from you. So that's been a big challenge and one of the reasons why we've left. We've had success with our arbitration and recovery. We've recovered a substantial amount of the money. So today, the balance is not material with respect to the whole of the corporation with what we're owed there. The bigger challenge is the investments that you have to make going forward for the next many decades, and making sure that the right legal frameworks are in place, the protections are in place, and the fiscal systems reward the investments that have to be made.
Yeah.